Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve Hatherley here in the studio. Hello, Steve.
Hello once again. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
As always, a great pleasure having you on the show. And I realize I've been doing the show with you for a really long time. We need to start calling it our show instead of, my show.
I think it must be a year in total now, maybe?
At least.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes, and you've been in China long enough to notice certain phenomenon, fun expressions, sometimes not very always that useful in daily conversation.
Sure.
But fun to know, and fun to know that we form phrases and we form words in those ways. It reflects how Chinese people think about the world, how we analyze certain things, and it's just something fun.
Yeah, and I guess the challenge of any language learner is keeping up with the new words, the hot words, the young people words that influence modern day communication. And that's not just true for non-native speakers of the language they're learning. That's probably true for the older native speakers of that language trying to keep up with the hot new words.
That's the thing. Previously, I think 5 years ago, probably, sometimes maybe even only 10 years ago, my feeling is that every year there would be words of the year, expressions of the year, internet slang of the year.
Sure, yeah.
And it can sometimes be one word, sometimes a list of words, 10 words, trying to reflect different areas in the society in our lives. We call it 热词, by the way.
热词.
词 is word, so 字 is character. 词 word and 短语 phrase. So 字词短语, these are units in languages. It's universal. In every language we have those things,
okay.
mostly.
Yeah, right.
And 词 is word or 词汇. 词汇, again, words, Chinese people like two-syllable words, and the two-syllable words, two-character words, and one-character words usually mean the same thing.
So 词汇 also means word.
Word.
Uh-huh.
热词, hot words.
Uh-huh. So because Chinese people like two-character words, you can say 智慧 for word or 智 for hot word, but you wouldn't say 热词汇.
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 No, we don't do that. That's the thing. We like two-character words. We like to shorten things in the way that, for example, 中国美国关系, that's China-US relationship. So 中国, China, 美国, US, and 关系 relationship. But we also like to shorten it into 中美关系. Sino-US relationship. So 中 is for 中国, 美 is for 美国. That's the thing. When you form a new word or express a certain idea that is so commonly used in a lot of different scenarios and situations, you kind of want to not form a new word, but make sure the way you use it, because you use it so often, it's as short as possible, as simple as possible.
But still, there are rules to follow, right?
Yes.
You can't just go around making up shortened words.
No, don't do that.
People won't understand.
No. But here, we know 词汇 is word, and 热 is hot. So hot words, or words of the year, or popular words, that would be 热词.
热词.
Yes, so 热 is hot. And 词 stands for 词汇, hot words. And back to my point, I was trying to say 5 years ago, when I look at the hot words of the year, popular words of the year, I recognize almost all of them. I understand what they mean. I've been using them so often in my life, and I totally get why they're that hot. But I realized that in recent years, I started to not recognize some of the hot words of the year, and I don't know why they got so popular. And after learning it, I feel like, it's really a good expression.
Does it happen in China too? Because in English, in Western culture, America, Canada, other English-speaking countries, the language of the youth is almost like a language unto its own. And words will come out For example, have you heard about this? This is like all over the internet. It's everywhere these days. 6, 7. You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard of this?
I think I heard of it. I don't know. I don't even know what it means.
Nobody knows what it means. It comes from a rap song where in the lyrics, the singer says, or the rapper says 6, 7. And then
it got popular.
You have to balance your hands up and down like a scale, almost like you're weighing something. And the only way I know how to use it properly is to say, like, if someone asks you, hey, how you doing? You can answer like 6, 7. And as far as I know,
it means not bad, not good.
Yeah. But only in that context, I watched maybe 10 videos of teenagers explaining how this word is used or these two numbers are used. I still couldn't understand after the explanations. Teachers are going crazy because they don't know what the heck it means. And it's just everywhere now.
I think this phenomenon definitely exists in the Chinese language world, but they are not that commonly selected as words of the year because usually, well, there are so many popular words, we have to admit this, and those words are not necessarily popular throughout the year. Sometimes it's just a short period, several weeks, several months on the internet, and then we forgot about it. So when it comes to selecting the words of the year, I think we are being a bit more cautious, a bit more selective about these words. And that is why one of the words made the list of the 2025 10 most popular expressions. I think this one is quite interesting. This one is called 预制.
预制.
预制 is from 预制菜, pre-cooked meal. Remember this one?
Yes, okay.
We talked about this one previously on many occasions, and 预制菜 is the pre-cooked meal served in restaurants or sold in supermarkets. You can take them home. You can cook them easily by putting it in a microwave or something.
It became a hot issue in China this year because everybody was talking about like restaurants serving these things, and people were not necessarily happy about that. Sure, if you go to a convenience store or a supermarket, then you're going to expect to find those types of things, and you're actually even looking for those types of meals. But when you go to a restaurant, that's not what you're expecting, that's not what you're looking for. So that's why it became such a hot issue here in the country.
Yes, we had a lot of talk about it, and we even have a national standard making sure that those pre-cooked meal are up to standards hygiene-wise, material or ingredient-wise, and also taste-wise. And also the country specified that any restaurants that are using these pre-cooked ingredients or pre-cooked, half-cooked meals, they have to make clear to the consumers. But that is not entirely the reason why I'm mentioning this, because the expression 预制 is not only used for meal anymore. So 预 is 预先, is pre, the pre part. 制 is made. So a pre-made stuff. People are using it to express not only food, but also the kind of activity that is relatively standard in not necessarily a good way. For example, you go out, you travel, and you go to the location that you are recommended by the KOLs on social media, by their videos, and you go to the spot that is recommended to you by people on social media saying that that is a spot that you can get a really good picture. And you even use the posture provided or recommended to you. And you're having a pre-made, for example, social media post, because everything is pre-made for you. It's not you, it's not customized, it's not your personality, it's just something that's been designed, that's been half-cooked for you. And that is why we also say 预制生活, pre-made life. If you are reading the books that are recommended to you, if you are only having the food that have a must-taste label on it, and you're not really improvising because of your preferences, then you're living a pre-made, pre-designed life. So that's 语志. That's one of the fun expressions. But besides the fun expressions, we also have trendy expressions that are there because of the popularity of a certain phenomenon or a certain even technological application of the year.
For example?
There is a really good one, and I have no idea what it meant before doing a bit research. It's called 具身智能.
具身智能.
Okay, to start with, it's definitely not that common before, let's say, 3 years ago or 5 years ago. It's not even a word 5 years ago, in my opinion. But 具 carries the meaning of 具体, so something that's concrete, something that's objective, you see it, it's there, it's not subjective or abstract. And 身 is 身体, it's a body. 智能 is intelligence. And this word means that now the artificial intelligence are not only something, a code or a service or a way of calculating on the internet. Now they have bodies. Now you can see...
Referring to robots.
Yes. Now you can see a smart, intelligent robot. You can see an intelligent robotic dog. And these things are not only programmed to do the things that they're programmed, they can also learn. They can also act. They can also help you in your home with your house chore and stuff. And they can evolve. And it's the kind of intelligence that has got a concrete, a objective, a real body.
A physical being.
A physical being right there.
It makes sense for all the stories about robots and robotics that have come out of China and the world, to be fair, this year, that would be one of the hot trending words for the end of 2025.
What's cool is that in China, it's no longer just a tech trend. It's going straight into the next 5-year plan. That is, in the beginning of every 5 years, we would make plans for what we're going to do in the next 5 years in different areas in life, different aspects in life. We call it 5年计划.
5年计划.
5年 is 5 years. 计划 is plan, so 5-year plan. And at the end of that 5 year, we would try to check the boxes, see, which ones have we accomplished? Have we done a good job? And what should go into the next year's 5-year plan? Because when we are making the plans, we didn't know it can develop to this stage, and we didn't know we wanted even more, something like that.
Yeah, and that comes out in the news a lot in China. I've noticed living here, a lot of the government reports are in reference to their 5-year plan for this or their 5-year plan for that. There's not just one 5-year blanket plan for the whole country. They have different plans for different sectors.
Definitely. And that is why it's quite significant for 具身智能, or kind of like embodied AI, to go into the 5-year plan. Because once it's in the 5-year plan, once it's in the 5年计划, you would see hundreds of companies using this robotic technology in the manufacturing process. You would see universities developing and doing research about the embodied AI. And we would also see a lot of, even in hospitals, you can see robotic nurses in the future.
So when something goes into the 5-year plan, then companies see that it's in there and they respond
very positively.
Very positively, but that's not my question. My question is, it's not mandated that they respond.
No.
It's that they see that it's important to the country. It's on the country's list of things to do and accomplish. So they say, if we want to be successful, then we better get ahead of this or get on board.
Because there definitely will be different types of incentives, provincial-wide, and there will be local strategies helping people moving towards that direction. So if you jump on the car, you would be able to enjoy those things.
It's going to be beneficial for you. So then when a new 5-year plan is coming, then regardless of the industry, companies within those industries are going to be paying very, very close attention
Yes.
to what that says.
And like Steve has already said, it's not a blanket plan. There is one 5-year plan for the country, but there are multiple 5-year plans for different provinces, different cities, and sometimes different industries, and that's how it works. And finally on the list, I see something familiar. I'm very happy about it.
Hey, you recognize something.
Yes, digital nomad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very common word now.
Yeah, I think so, because particularly post-COVID, when people were kind of redefining work and how they wanted to work and where they wanted to work. We saw a trend with people wanting to be digital nomads, people who would live in various parts of the world and work from wherever they were or are because the work allows them to do that.
And digital nomads, by the way, in Chinese would literally mean digital. That is 数字.
数字.
Yes. And nomad would be 游民.
游民.
游 is the same character in 旅游. So travel, go around. And 民 is the same character in 人民, people. So those who goes around the country, around the world, they're nomads. 数字
数字
游民.
数字游民.
Perfect. That's digital nomad.
Digital nomad.
Yeah.
Has that ever interested you at all? I thought it was kind of a cool thing for adventurous people. I thought like, oh, these people might want to settle down in a place, but even if they didn't choose to settle down in a place, at least they could go and experience that culture and stay there for a while and then pick up and go to another location if they chose to, because their work would allow them to do that.
Yeah, I personally don't think I can be a digital nomad because I lack self-discipline. It's either that
What's that got to do with it?
It's either that when I'm working, it's kind of like freelance without freelancing. You work and you decide when you start working and when you stop working. And for me, the problem is that either I will, lack the motivation and always procrastinate.
I don't agree with that.
Or I will work too hard all the time.
That's the part I agree with. Yeah. There's two sides to setting your own schedule. One, you're not disciplined enough in working enough, and the other, you're not disciplined enough in giving yourself a break.
Yes, and that's why it's not for me. But I get why it's becoming more and more popular among the Chinese society these days. And also I get why it's been the trendy word in 2025, because this year really is the year that sees a lot of not the digital nomads themselves, not only the increasing of 数字游民, but a lot of communities built especially for digital nomads.
To attract them.
And provide the internet technology there, provide a good resting place like accommodation and also public area for all these digital nomads to communicate with each other, and the cafe area for sure, and in a entertaining center so they can when they decide to enjoy life instead of working on their computer all the time, they can also enjoy the local culture. So this is being much more attractive.
If you were a digital nomad and you could only stay in China, which area of China would you choose?
If I'm a digital nomad, I'll go around the country for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'll go to Sichuan for the food and the pandas. I will go to Hainan for the weather. I might go to Yunnan for the nature, and Xinjiang and Xizang for everything. I mean, I will definitely travel all the time, and I like working on the high-speed train, so there's no problem for me there.
Well, there you go. Perfect. Now I'm thinking, though, that it might be the opposite problem. You'd spend too much time traveling and eating. You might not get any work done.
Right? It could totally happen to me.
Right. It could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline, I guess, to be one of those people.
Yes. 数字游民. Those are kind of like a dream job for some, but
for others quite stressful maybe.
Yes.
数字游民.
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 Perfect. And it's not only about phenomenon or Yeah, it still kind of is phenomenon, but it can be one accident or incident. Something happened this year that got everybody's attention. Remember TikTok refugee in the beginning of the year?
Yes.
And that was not the phrase itself. The phrase is 赛博对仗.
赛博
对仗.
对仗.
So 赛博, does it ring a bell? Sounds like anything?
赛博.
Cyber.
Oh, cyber. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And 对 is to see whether or not something match.
Okay.
And 账 is our bill.
赛博对账. 账 is the bill.
账 is the bill. So see whether my bill matches with yours. Check out or compare notes. One is
Cyber. What's the cyber connection?
cyber is doing this on the internet instead of face-to-face.
Okay.
So this is talking about one, the so-called TikTok refugee started to use Red or the Red Note, 小红书. They finally got the chance to communicate with Chinese netizen directly, not face-to-face, on the internet. Explains the cyber part. And they started to compare all of the little details of their lives, like school bills,
Yeah.
the check you need
Yeah.
the money you need to pay for medical bills, and Chinese people are doing the same thing. How much money it takes to buy one single egg, to buy an apple.
Because that was hot news in America, right? The price of
Yes.
eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful thing.
Yes, I agree.
I think. Yeah, and it was just a wonderful thing. I remember seeing some messages from new American users to Red Note asking, the Chinese netizens, "Oh, have you tried pizza before?" With kind of no knowledge that even right down the street from us is a Pizza Hut and a Papa John's and like 4 Starbucks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And this is why I love, and this is a little off topic, this is what I loved about living in Korea, and this is what I love about living in China, is that we have the opportunity to let people know what life is actually really like here, and how there are way more similarities than one might assume there are.
So we talk about the fact that sometimes we stay in our own information cocoon, even with internet just around us, with tons of information, just accessible all the time with just one click. But these are the occasions that we're grateful, and we truly, deeply thank the existence of internet, so that we can, once there is an opportunity, we can talk to people miles and hundreds of miles away and know each other's life.
赛博对仗.
赛博对仗. Even the 对仗 part, compare notes about life. It's a little bit too specific. Still, I think the idea is about communication.
How do you say in person?
面对面, face to face. Literally face to face.
面对面.
面对面.
So takeaway Chinese is kind of like 面对面推讲.
For you and me,
Right,
yes.
for
yes.
you and I.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Okay. And another thing I love about the 年度热词 list, or the time I check it out, is because there will always be something that are very encouraging, inspiring, motivating. And that word this year is 韧性, resilience.
韧性.
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 Because we have to admit, 2025 is not an eventless year. Many things happened in a lot of different aspects. You still see the turbulence in international affairs. You see wars in other parts of the world on Earth. And we, as individual, we see, for example, the soaring of the price of gold, for example. A lot of things happened this year, but not only as an individual, but also as a society, as a country, as humanity, we managed to be resilient against these turmoils, against these problems and challenges and this changes in life, this waves or tides of worlds happening to us, and we managed to survive. We managed to thrive.
Yeah. That's why I always say this is going to sound terrible, and I only partly mean it in a terrible way. But human beings, I've said this for a long time, human beings are like cockroaches. We've kind of infested this world, and we've done a lot of really wonderful, tremendous things. But we've also done some things that maybe the human species wouldn't be so proud of if we look back through history. But that's the negative side. The positive side, we are incredibly resilient. And when problems do arise, we generally do our best to fix those problems, as best we can anyway.
You remind me of Chinese people sometimes would refer roaches to 小强, that's little strong or little...
Mini warrior?
Kind of like that. It's saying, because there's the phrase 打不死的小强, the little roaches that cannot be really beaten to death in a way to,
they'll survive
extinct.
anything. Yeah.
Yes, and see, the mentality's the same here. That is resilience. It's something that we always wish we have, and we actually have it.
Hopefully next year we'll have fewer of those conflicts. So we don't need to be as 韧性.
And by the way, it's a noun, so
oh.
you can have it, 有韧性, as 2025.
So then how would I, because I was wanting to say we wouldn't need to be as resilient in the future.
Yes, I get it.
So how would we use resilient in that?
坚韧.
坚韧.
坚韧 is the adjective here.
Well, that's my hope for 2026.
Yes. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. Thank you so much for being with us, and hope you have a fun and happy 2025. Today, we only covered half or several of the words of 2025, and it's from one source, 咬文嚼字. That's one Chinese language-related magazine. In the next episode, we hope to cover a bit more words, expressions, not only Chinese ones, we can talk about English ones, and their translation in Chinese as well.
Oh, cool.
Just to see the trend in not only linguistic world, but also in the society and in different countries and around the world.
Sounds good to me.
And 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
Bye-bye. See you next time.